Yeah, I think conferences is single-handedly the most impactful thing you can do as a trader, as a beginner, as an experienced trader, whatever stage you're in. You go to the conference, you don't know what kind of conversation you're going to have or the type of people that you're going to talk to. And that information that you're going to talk to them about, that relationship that you're going to make, you don't even know how much that is potentially going to affect you. It's going to completely change your life. And that's what happened to me. That's what's happened to Mari and Kyle and all these other traders that I know. You're one conversation away from being profitable.
All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to Twist. As always, us three, me, Mariana, Jack, we are here. We're back. Today, we're going to go over a few things, a few eventful things. Clearly, we know one we're talking about. Yeah, I'm going to go dive deep into that. We just went to Traders for a Cause over the weekend, so we'll talk about that. We had a couple plays, a couple trades today. But yeah, besides that, guys, I mean, you haven't traded much this last week because you were traveling and going to Traders for a Cause. But anything new in the markets maybe that you're seeing besides or since last week? Anything different, or are we just kind of still in that fall phase before we really start to heat up per se?
Go ahead, Mari.
For me, I feel like it has been that same fall kind of mentality. The past few days, I haven't really taken much trades. We were in Las Vegas. It was great. I feel like it was a great experience for us to get to know new traders, get to know a lot more girl traders. For me, I was able to meet up with some of them. I think that's really important, just having a lot of people to fall back on. For example, we haven't had that many good trades in OTC the past few days, and that's fine. That it's not just you, it's also other people around you. I thought that was a great experience.
For me, pretty similar to Mario. I was in Vegas since Thursday, so we did a Twist on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I just kind of packed, didn't take too many trades. I'm not sure I took anything. And then Thursday I was traveling, Friday I wasn't there, Monday I wasn't there, today I slept in past the market. So I haven't taken any trades personally, but I have been monitoring the market. And I did see SHMP and ALPP, two OTCs, two former runners, 2019, 2020, 2021, all runners in the past, SFOR. And I saw a few runners go on multi-day runs. SHMP and ALPP are Nasdaq plays. Actually, ALPP is getting uplisted to the Nasdaq. Very surprising. Bravo. I remember when that stock was under a penny. And now it's $5 and they're getting uplisted. Really crazy. SHMP is running from the 30s to the 50s on uplisting news. That's also very impressive. SHMP was something we traded back in 2019, and then it tanked from $1 a share already all the way back down to a penny or two, and now it's back towards 50 cents. That's really impressive. So I'll be watching SHMP into the end of the week and next week. If they actually do get listed up on the Nasdaq, I think it could have a potential nice run. And for you guys that traded in 2019, we know that that $1 level is huge resistance and could create a nice play if it gets over that. That's a lot of speculation, we'll see, but just a few other runners in OTC. Nothing's very, very clean right now, but there is some stuff popping off. And then I'm sure Kyle will talk all about crypto, so I'll let him talk about that. But I did send out a tweet today, and I said, Tilray, nice rotation. It's pretty cool to see some of these wheat stocks come off their lows very strongly. I do think that we have neared close to the bottom on these wheat stocks, and we potentially will have that winter run. But other than that, that's all I got. What are you seeing, Kyle?
Yeah, Tilray, I didn't see any news on it today. I don't know if anyone else found any news, but I mean, just lots of volume. I mean, we're up, what is it up on the day? It's up, what, 16%? I mean, we've had plenty of other green days before that have failed, but at some point, similar to, previous, how we bought them previously, at some point the trend changes. So yeah, I'm excited. Well, I guess I own a small piece of Tilray, like in like a longer term account. But I'm with Jack here, and then I'm also kind of eyeing the wheat sector, kind of just keep an eye on it because, you know, every few months to a few years, like we always get this hot run. We had one back in February. So that's really cool to see. Other hot sectors, Bitcoin. Matt did a state of the market webinar for the people in the Crypto Rockets. I couldn't make it because I was doing a webinar for the Breakouts and Breakdowns chat room. However, we did go into detail about Bitcoin, about BTC. And I personally had a suspicion that the new ETF that just started trading today, which is under the ticker BITO, this is it right here. It started trading and following Bitcoin, and it's going to follow Bitcoin. Like that's the point of this ETF. Very first ETF, so that's really awesome. I mean, people have been talking about this for a long time. Finally, it's been accepted and it's live. So that's really cool to see. In previous past events with Bitcoin and in crypto, usually we've seen like a sell-off. Usually it's like a sell the news kind of thing. And so that's what I was thinking. But as of so far from today, I mean, we have not done that. We are, I mean, pretty much nothing but almost green candles the entire day. One little like flash dip here, this little red candle, this hourly candle, whatever since then. I mean, we've just been uptrending. Let me actually refresh this page because I think we're higher now. But we're just like so close to highs. I mean, we're literally about 600 points away from highs. The all-time high, at least what I'm looking at here, is 64,829. The high of today is 64,291. I mean, we are literally right there. Now, I'm going to count my eggs before they hatch, but clearly we're close enough. Two highs, and I've been saving this tweet. I've saved this tweet when I tweeted it because I made a prediction, and I'm not one to predict, but I'm just gonna pat myself on the back here on this one. All right. So back in May, when crypto just got crushed, right? Tesla came out and Elon came out saying we're not going to accept Bitcoin as payment anymore. Everyone was worried about how it affects the environment, how much energy it costs. There was China was pretty much banning trading and mining of Bitcoin. I mean, that was this entire sell-off here. That was when everything got crushed. Also being the reason that in this tweet here that I quote tweeted, crypto margin calls. The problem is a lot of people, when crypto gets hot, is people start buying more money than they can afford, right? They take out loans, they take out margin, they take out leverage, and they're just buying as much as they possibly can because they think, when crypto runs 50, 100%, they're just going to make a fortune, right? But when crypto goes against them, right, they get margin called and they get forced to liquidate their positions. And I mean, that's really what happened on a lot of these days where, I mean, crypto just got crushed. I mean, we pretty much panicked from 43K all the way down to 30K within a day. And so I said this, I was like, all this sucks. Like, it's never fun for people to get liquidated. But this happened before, and it's healthy because it washes people out. It realizes it exploits people's greed. And then we can kind of continue naturally growing in the crypto market. Like, the crypto market can grow naturally and not just be leveraged up to try to be pushed it higher. And so that's what I said. And so then David here, I'm not going to, sorry to call you out, David, but this is a good example. His view was like, okay, I think crypto will then, trade between 60 and 30K, maybe for a few months, maybe even several years. He goes, obviously neither of us know. I would have liked to think differently. So I said new highs this year. I could have been dead wrong. I really could have. And technically I'm still wrong. We haven't hit it yet. I just want to bring it up though, because we're just so freaking close. From a technical standpoint now, even if we pull back, I still, like I said, yesterday, I thought we were going to have a sell the news event. I thought we were going to dip back to like the high to mid 5 or 50,000s. And we can totally still do that. We can totally double top right here, consolidate in the sub 60K, and then maybe run later. But the point is, it's just like, we're here. The ETF, other ETFs are getting approved. Crypto isn't going anywhere. It's here to stay. And so, like Jack mentioned, I'm monitoring the wheat sector. I've been monitoring this crypto sector for a long time. I have a lot of invested in it. And I just think we're going to get a nice run going later this year in the next few months. So besides that, let's go into some trades. Mari, I remember you were mentioning NET. If you want to go over that one, your thoughts, what happened here, etc.
So this morning, that was one that I was watching due to like the daily chart. I was just looking for that first red day, and I was just waiting for it to go red on the day. But as you've seen in the daily chart, it doesn't really respect red that well. So I tried to use like the least size as I could because I wasn't really comfortable with it, nor do I trade large cap that much, large cap. So I took some short. It was like near the market open and it was small size. I was risking, it was around 179. 179 was actually my first entry and I was risking 180, which now that it was going red because red was 170, 180, 77. So now thinking if I can risk high day at 180 and I will also risk red to green at 180.77, I thought it had good chances. So I shorted and then I covered into the 170s, but I did mess it up and just started to trade the bounce. So I didn't really make any money on it, but it did close red. So I would think that it continues downtrending in the coming days. I'll be watching that one, but it wasn't very, like, the bounce wasn't very easy. I guess I could have just not gotten greedy and just had taken my morning profits, but I thought overall it could be a good trade maybe tomorrow or later in the week.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like you said, if it's had like 10 green days in a row up here, it can certainly have more than one red day in a row, right? It did that actually here, like it did that 5 days here. So that's a good idea. I actually already ruled it out. That makes me think I should probably keep watching it tomorrow for another red day. I totally ignored it today, even though I told myself like I should be looking to short it. I was just distracted with other plays, so I didn't even short it to the end this here. And then similar to, I think, what caught you off guard and what kind of surprised me was like how high this bounced back. I mean, this bounced all the way back pretty much. I mean, it pretty much made a new day high, or at least tapped it here at the 180. I remember thinking to myself, like, this is just, like you said, like it's a large cap. I don't want to touch it. I don't really know what's going on. The reality was it actually was just a strong bounce that we just needed to test red a couple more times. Failed. And I mean, in hindsight, like a nice little short in the 178, 179 area, risking 180 again, like almost the same trade plan, would have resulted in kind of like the same move twice. I mean, you really got the same range in the morning and then you got the same range in the afternoon. So that was really cool. It was a good lesson. For me, my main trade that really put me green on the day was ALPP. I talked about this extensively in the breakdowns webinar yesterday about them uplisting, and they actually uplist. They go to Nasdaq. I believe we're filming this on a Tuesday. They go to Nasdaq tomorrow, being Wednesday. And usually OTCs, when they do this, they run up into the Nasdaq listing, and once they become Nasdaq, then they sell off. This one was a little bit different, where it actually sold off the day before, so it kind of threw me off guard. I was a little bit slow into reacting to the price action. So I should have probably, I can't say should have, could have, would have, but in hindsight, watching it break the morning low here at like 550 should have been a starter. Like I should have been starting in short. I missed that. I then actually started getting short when it went red here. And just given how much size I wanted, given how much, volume was, or people were selling, other people were shorting, I only filled about a fourth of the size I wanted. So I really didn't get a chance to add. I was sitting on the ask, like, see if it could bounce and test red green one more time. It never got high enough. Ended up covering my, fourth size position into this panic just below 5. And it actually really surprised me. And I really underestimated it. Actually went even lower below this initial panic low, and went all the way down to low 4s. I mean, I just would not have expected. I would have, even if I had full size, I would have been all covered by the 470s, 480s. But even with my small size, I made about $2,000. So smaller win, unfortunately, but again, it's a win. Put me green on the day, so I'll take it. Other than that, didn't reshort the bounce. We'll see what it does on Nasdaq tomorrow. But like I said, this play was what I was expecting for tomorrow. So I kind of, just a good lesson to be more reactive instead of predictive, because it can happen really whenever it wants. So yeah. Jack, I mean, I guess you mentioned SHMP. But you didn't trade it though. You're just going to watch it, correct?
Yeah, I'm just going to watch SHMP because it is running up on NASDAQ uplisting rumors, kind of like ALPP is doing. And ALPP, it ended up making like a nice move from $2 to like 5 or 6.
Mhm.
What was it, like almost a double or a triple?
Yeah, mid 5s. Yeah.
Mid 5s from what, $2?
$2.30.
So as you can see there, that's been a big like 2-month run. And if SHMP has very similar news, I think that it could make a nice move upwards. Like I was saying earlier about maybe breaking over $1, that's probably unlikely. But I do think maybe it could get back into that resistance zone near the 70s, 75-ish, 80 up there. It's probably going to be choppy, but I will watch it because SHMP does have pretty clean intradays. I just think the daily probably won't be crystal clear. As you can see from the ALPP daily, it wasn't anything spectacular. It was a choppy daily, but the intraday action still ended up being pretty good on that one. So I expect that on SHMP as well.
Yeah. SHMP, I saw it yesterday. And I saw the news. I was like, okay, they're working on getting uplisted. But in the PR, they said it was going to take at least like 90 days. And then just from me knowing, like, for a stock to be uplisted to Nasdaq, like, it has to have a minimum of a $1 bid. Like, it has to be above $1 to uplist. So I just thought to myself, like, they're so far out, they're going to have to at least do a reverse split, or just miraculously get their stock up over $1 and hold it over $1. So I just totally like just threw it aside. I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all. But I'm not really buying it. Turns out, like, you could have just, again, it's like, this why this week hasn't been like that great. And it's been kind of just iffy for me. Like, I'm green, but it's just no big winners, no great trading from my end, just because I almost being a little bit too predictive, right? I'm just thinking like, they're not actually going to uplist right now. So why would I long it? But that's just silly. Like, the reality is there's still people buying it and gapped up quite large. And then you could have easily sold this morning spike into the 50s for, a nice win, a nice trade. So I think that's something I want to work on closing out this month. Just getting back to that reactive state. But besides that, I don't know if we have a lot to talk about. Besides from my experience for Traders for a Cause, it's always, I had a few people ask me like, well, how was it? And I just always tell them, like, it's just such an awesome experience meeting people that you've talked to online for so many months, sometimes even years. And the fact that, like, and of course, obviously conferences cost money, like traveling costs money, and not everyone can just go wherever they want when they want. But I'm pretty shocked the value you get from going to a conference compared to the amount of people who don't go, right? Like, whether it's Trader for the Cause, whether it's for the Trader Investor Summit that we'll do next year. The amount of people who do trade online versus the amount of people that go to these conferences is like a huge inefficiency, right? There's probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of people who trade or are trying to trade. And at these conferences, there's only 2, 3, 4, maybe 1,000 max at the biggest of conferences in terms of trading. And so I just think that a lot of people are missing out. There's a lot of value in terms of just meeting traders person to person. I know a lot of traders who feel lonely because they just have no one to talk to, and like going to conferences is like a great way to meet people. I met so many people at the conference, and I put so many faces to so many screen names. So like, it's just such a great thing to do. And I'm excited for whenever the next conference, whatever conference it is, like, it's just such a, I think it's always a good time. That's how you guys met. So
I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, the first conference that I ever went to was the Tim Sykes conference. And I remember in 2018, I actually got the virtual one. And I remember just being very bored because all of that information is already put out into videos and DVDs and video lessons and everything. So I thought that going the next year in 2019 was a huge difference. What I spent in the virtual one, I could have just easily gone instead in 2018. I feel like everything would have been a lot different because the inspiration that you get just from seeing the people that are actually real, like, everything just looks so out of reach whenever you see it through the screens. But then when you meet the person and when you meet the people and you're in person with them and you can ask them all of the questions, I just feel like everything just becomes more real. And everything it makes a lot more sense. And I feel like for Traders for a Cause, I met lots of great people. And in Tim Sykes, I met you guys. I was inspired by all of the young traders. I met Jack. So I think conferences are great, but I feel like meeting people is a lot more important than like the actual information. It's more about like the network that you can get. And that was great for me.
Yeah, I think conferences is single-handedly the most impactful thing you can do as a trader, as a beginner, as an experienced trader, whatever stage you're in. You go to the conference, you don't know what kind of conversation you're going to have or the type of people that you're going to talk to. And that information that you're going to talk to them about, that relationship that you're going to make, you don't even know how much that is potentially going to affect you. It's going to completely change your life. And that's what happened to me. That's what's happened to Mari and Kyle and all these other traders that I know. You're one conversation away from being profitable. And that's the truth of it. You're not one DVD or one video lesson or one YouTube video being away from being profitable. You're one conversation in person of being profitable. And that's my opinion. Networking is single-handedly the most valuable thing that you shouldn't take for granted or overlook.
That reminds me, Jack, of like any not even meeting new people, but people you already know. So like me and Jack, I mean, when did I remember you first reached out to me because we were both around like 30K at the time, but it was what was it?
In November 2018, I think.
Right. So, and we didn't meet each other in person till that 2019 conference in September 2019. So almost like 10 months to a year, we had always talked online, always understood each other's strategies, like just understood each other's traders, but didn't meet until then. Looking back now, even though we already, quote unquote, knew each other, but then actually meeting for the first time and like having conversations and pretty much hanging out with each other for 3 to 4 days straight. I think that both took our trading to another level, because then 2020 happened, 2020 started. And I mean, our strategy, I mean, you made me a way better long trader. I remember you telling me like me and Huddy made you a way better short trader. And our strategy, and I think that's why, that's literally why we now have a chat room together. Like it's just, our strategies are so similar and we've bounced each other ideas off each other so well. And I don't think I think the catalyst that started that was literally us meeting. And now now we've seen each other ever since, like trips here and there and whatever. But yeah, hopefully that nails in the head for everyone watching and listening. Like just the conferences are so valuable. It's really priceless. You really can't put a price on the value and information that you're even putting yourself up to potentially receive going to like in-person stuff like that. So any last closing remarks for anybody, any listeners, for you guys? Nothing?
Perfect.
No, cool. Yeah. I just can't. I can talk about Bitcoin all I want, so I'm not. You already know my point. Go watch the beginning of this episode. Like new highs at some point this year. Other than that, guys, like I said, just like we also mentioned, the market's still blowing. We have some key events, but there hasn't been, a full sector coming out alive just yet. No huge hot supernova OTC since like CEI on the Nasdaq. Other than that, guys, just hang in tight, keep managing your risk. Sometimes don't even take a trade if nothing's there. And we will see you guys next time. We'll see you guys next week. Later.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thanks so much for watching and being part of the StocksToTrade community. We wouldn't be here without you guys. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Our goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but we can't do it without you guys. So if you like what we're doing here and you want to hear more, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.